Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and Studio Ghibli, one of my favorite studios out there. They have produced some of the best films of all time, some of the best directors of all time, some of the most beautiful animation. I have many of the soundtracks of their films, and yet there was one movie that actually was made in 1993 that we are just now getting on Blu-ray today, or yesterday by the time this goes up. And that is Ocean Wave, sorry. This is weird. This is weird. We're going to discuss this. What is Ocean Waves and why did it take us so long to get it? And what's the Blu-ray like? Well, Ocean Waves was actually not like most other Studio Ghibli films. It was actually a made-for-TV movie. Originally, the idea was for Studio Ghibli to make movies for TV. They would be made on a lower budget and on more time-restricted modes. And they'd basically just be a way to test out new animators, to give new animators something to do, you know, kind of give a feel for certain directors. But it went over budget and over time. And it did eventually make it to TV. But obviously, that extra money and time meant that it kind of defeated the purpose. These were supposed to be made cheap and on the fly. And it didn't work out that way. And now here's the thing. When you watch the movie, admittingly, it does not look as good as other Ghibli films. Not even close. But interestingly, we did get a theatrical release of it. Most other countries, aside from Japan, put this in theaters. Which kind of goes to show that even a weak-looking Ghibli film looks 10 times better than an average film by any other studio out there. I don't know. So, I'm going to post a link to my full review below. But it was a very muted review. Still a recommendation, a slight one. Ghibli typically does not make movies I dislike. The only two movies that they made that I outright don't like at all, that I have actually stated these are bad movies, are Pompoko and Howl's Moving Castle. And I know just by stating that I don't like Howl's Moving Castle, I might now have to make a video explaining my position on the matter. But maybe some other time. So, anyway, I saw this movie in theaters. And G-Kids, who've been, you know, distributing a lot of the Ghibli films recently, picked it up. Disney actually had the rights to this movie for years. Never did anything with it. This and Only Yesterday were two movies. They said, you know what, we don't believe there's a market for it. And I have to say they might have been right, or they could have been wrong. I don't know, because Only Yesterday did seem to sell a fair amount of copies on Blu-ray. Now, when G-Kids picked it up, it's just kind of like a tradition. You dub Ghibli films. You dub Studio Ghibli films because they're mass market. At least they're mass market as far as anime is concerned. They dubbed Only Yesterday and had Daisy Ridley and Dev Patel, who just got an Oscar nomination for Lion, in the supporting category, even though he was the main star. Okay, I can't get on that. And that was for a movie that I felt was not going to sell very well. And I think it sold decently. I don't know if it sold enough to justify the cost of the dub, but it was like a good faith gesture to dub it. Interestingly, this Blu-ray does not have a dub. When I saw it in theaters, it didn't have a dub, but I just assumed the theater only had the subtitle version. It turns out they had so little faith in this movie actually succeeding, they didn't even bother to dub it. There's also only a couple of special features. There's the Ghibli's Episode 2. I don't know where Episode 1 is. Looking back, the staff reunion, and it was like a short little thing where like the director and the artist kind of reflect on the movie, you know, the difficulties they had. They kind of acknowledge that it was supposed to be a lot cheaper and faster than it ended up being, but that they were ultimately glad they took their time, which, you know. There's the US theatrical trailer and storyboards. For the whole movie, storyboards. You're not going to get a whole lot with this movie, or this Blu-ray, I should say. As for the movie itself, obviously, if you own the Studio Ghibli collection already, you might as well. It completes it, pretty much. Now we're just waiting for that TV show that they made, that Amazon streams, to get a Blu-ray release, and then I guess we'll have it all for the most part. But I'm going to say, this is not too excited to be watching this one again. It really wasn't that great. I watched it, and I have not had the urge to rewatch it again. I'm pretty much buying it to complete the collection. It retails for, I think, $34.99, which is a little bit more expensive than most DVDs or Blu-rays, I should say. But again, it's anime, so it's kind of a niche product. But I think most places can get it for $25. I got it for $20 myself. And strangely and bizarrely enough, the MPAA decided to rate this PG-13. So we're going to retroactively add Ocean Waves to the list of movies that... oh, I still haven't made that video. We're going to add this to the PG-13 video whenever I get around to making it. That's going to become the running joke. When am I going to make the PG-13 videos? So anyway, my review of Ocean Waves of Blu-ray is it's a less than enthusiastic release. I mean, they obviously didn't have a whole lot of affection for the movie. I don't necessarily blame them. Unlike Only Yesterday, here's the thing. Only Yesterday, it wasn't going to be guaranteed to sell a lot of copies. I acknowledge that. But it was such a well-made movie, you felt like you had to give it some sort of special treatment just in case word of mouth got out. This, I doubt word of mouth is going to carry it very far. It's pretty much going to be known as the one Ghibli movie we never got until now. Like, it took us 20 years to get it, and not that I necessarily advocate for never seeing it. Had I not seen it, I don't think my life would have turned out very differently. My life has not been improved by seeing this movie, as opposed to most other movies that I see from Ghibli. But there you have it. So, but I am curious. Did any of you buy this Blu-ray? Did you like the Blu-ray? Were you disappointed? Did you like the movie? I would love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.